Okay,
Yeah. So
sure. Japanese
yeah.
cost of living. Okay. So in a city like Tokyo, it's very expensive to live
Hmm.
there. So the cheapest apartment is going to be the size of your current bathroom back in
Hmm.
India. That's your entire apartment. I mean, it's really that small. It's unbelievably
Okay.
small, and you're paying about 30,000 rupees for that little
Hmm.
room.
Hmm.
And if you get farther away to the rural area, you can live in a nice, cozy place in about the same price, which would have at least, two bedrooms or
Hmm.
two or
Yeah.
three rooms, right?
I heard.
Yeah, I think the situation is same everywhere. Even in India, right? You go to
Yeah.
Mumbai and stuff like that, it's really
Is it?
expensive, right?
Yeah, yeah. Living in Mumbai is very costly. So I used to live in a apartment. I used to pay what?
Mike.
So I used to live in Mumbai. This is I guess 4 years ago. Like now the real estate rates have like
Mm.
boomed quite high, but back then a three bedroom apartment would cost around 75 or 70,000 rupees, and we were like six
Mm.
guys sharing that apartment. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
I heard that there are some like 1 BHK flats over there are also called manors or something, or
Manners.
estates or villas.
Ah,
Um,
mansion. Mansion.
yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I found that very weird.
uh, I know, right?
Hmm.
Actually, let me tell you a funny story. So, I was teaching my student, right? And I asked her, so where do
Hmm.
you live? And she's like, oh, I live in a
Hmm.
mansion. And I'm like, wow, girl, girl, you live in a mansion. And she's like a 40-year-old
Mm-hmm.
woman,
Okay.
okay? So I was like, damn. And I was like, really, flustered about it. After that class, my boss, he came up to me and he said that this is their English mistake. So they do not know the word for apartment or condo. They replace it with mansion, like
Ah.
Oh.
mansion, like mansion, and or manor or
Hmm.
whatever you just said. So they kind of interchange those
Hmm.
words. It's just their honest
Okay.
mistake. And I was thinking like she is like a really like super
Hmm.
rich person who lives in like a
Yeah.
mansion or something. But actually it's like a studio apartment,
Yeah.
Ah.
So
basically.
I was searching for flats over
So
there, basically in the little bit near Tokyo area, and I was like,
mm-mm.
um, studio apartment mansion, and I was like, what's a
Yeah,
mansion?
yeah,
Why is
yeah,
he
yeah.
showing me a fucking building and then showing me this small of an apartment, and that too for something what around 40,000,
50,000 or something,
yeah.
right? Mm.
And I was so confused. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's going on? Because actually,
yeah.
like, I don't think so. It's that worse in any of the cities in India.
Hmm.
The over there, even like, a very small apartment, maybe this room,
Mm-hmm.
it still costs a lot.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes.
the kitchen and
So,
the bedroom will
mm,
be in the
mm,
same room.
Oh.
Correct.
kind of like maybe a small
Hmm.
partition sometimes, but it's not very, it's not big. And so basically, in conclusion, mansion means an apartment, and that's their, linguistic error. Like it got
Mm-hmm.
fossilized. So it's like it's a fossilized
Hmm.
error, so it means it's gonna stay
Hmm.
like this forever. So you have to kind of understand that what they
Ah.
mean is
Yeah.
not mansion, it's an
Hmm.
apartment. Mm.
And have you ever been to such houses? Because I actually want to live in such a house because I am a very, I'm not a very social person. Yeah, it's very hard to imagine, but I'm not a very social person, and I like to be in my small
Mm.
space. If you give me enough food to stay in this square room,
Mm.
I'll stay here for years. I
Mm.
won't get out.
Mm. Well, I actually live in a chotu apartment. So, however, at least I have a proper demarcation of the kitchen and
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
the bedroom. So it's not as bad as it's in like central
Okay.
Tokyo. But um, personally, I'm not a small room person. I grew up in like with sharing the room with my brother, which means the room was quite big enough for two people to stay. So I'm always used to, number one, having a roommate, secondly, a bigger space. So being alone in that small space, that was again a big problem for me in the
It's a
beginning.
completely opposite for us.
Yeah.
Though we were living in a big room, in the same room, but I still wanted to get away from him. Can I ask you, like, can I ask you a little bit about your own flat, about what's the square feet and how much you're paying for that, so that the viewers can know? Like, you can give a estimate and it will be cool.
The room is about, how do I say? I'm so sorry. I don't know the
Okay.
math, but it's like one person size bed. What is
queen
that called?
size.
What's
queen
that bed
size
Or a
size?
single bed.
Yeah, single bed. So there is a single bed, and there is like some space enough for me to keep a study table and the wardrobe. So just imagine how big that's gonna be. Quite
Yeah.
tiny, right?
And how much are you paying for that?
And in INR, I'm paying like 31,000 or something.
You see, that's crazy. Like,
That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy, because you know that room is the size of my bathroom back in India, and I have to get used to it. It's really not fair.
so right now you're at a Yamagata, correct? If I'm not wrong.
Right now, I'm at a beautiful Japanese house in
Yamagata.
Yamagata,
And you usually stay in Tokyo.
Tokyo. Yes.
So, what's the living cost in Tokyo then? Like, if Yamagata is that costly, which is not that quite urbanized, right? As compared to Tokyo.
No, she was talking about Tokyo.
Oh,
Yeah. Right now, I'm in a family house. Like
So
house
what's the
house.
difference over here? Like,
the cost of living over here in Yamagata compared to the cost of living in Tokyo.
So in Tokyo, if you earn about 70,000 rupees a month, you can barely survive. Barely. Like barely. Maybe you might have to just eat rice and salt and natto every day, you know, and then you would kind of survive, because you're paying a lot of rent, right? So money kind of goes in the rent, and then you have food. But in the rural area, you're not paying much money for the staying part. So with the same amount of money, you can lead a much more, you know, relaxed, and you can spend a lot of money on yourself in the rural area with the same
is
amount
it
of money.
as rural as Indian rural? How Indian rural? Whenever we picture Indian rural is like very small houses, like there are a lot of farms.
Well, actually, there are big houses in the rural areas, and there are big farms, and the the convenience stores or the malls and stuff are not as closely connected. They're quite scattered, but otherwise, beautiful roads. The hygiene is just the same as the city. Actually, cleaner, to be honest, and bigger houses and lesser people. And I mean, if I were to choose to live forever, I would definitely choose Yamagata or any other rural and suburban area. Never Tokyo, never Central Tokyo.